Hey everyone, this is Shehan Jeyarajah from over at Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and I'm here for an instant reaction video. I apologize if I don't look my best. Listen, the news broke in the morning, I was cooking some eggs, and I knew that I had to come on. For people who don't know, Texas and Oklahoma have officially notified the Big 12 that they will not renew their grant of rights at the end of the term. So what this means, right? Let's separate fact from fiction real quick, okay? So first, this does not mean that when Texas goes to Arkansas this upcoming September, that it's going to be a conference game, okay? This is a long-term deal. This is going to be something that technically the Big 12's grant of rights expire after the 2024-2025 school year. And so at this point, Texas and Oklahoma still plan to be locked in all the way until then. So they'd be here through football season 2024. Now, everybody, I think, on both sides is hoping that they can reach a more amicable solution. Right now, the Big 12 bylaws say that these schools have to pay what they would have received in the duration of their contract as a fine. So basically, they'd have to pay $38 million for every year that they come out of the Big 12 early, right? So we're looking at more than $70 million, which even for schools like Texas and Oklahoma, that's too much money, right? And so what ends up happening is that they're probably going to try to find a solution earlier. They're probably going to try to find something that that kind of works for both sides long term. And look, right now, Texas and Oklahoma, it looks like they are going to join the SEC. The SEC is likely going to have deliberations starting as early as this week on whether to offer membership. Now, I will say, nothing is official yet. The only thing that's official is that Texas and Oklahoma will not renew after the 2024-2025 school year. That does not mean that they have committed to joining the SEC at this point, though that certainly seems likely and could be made official in the coming days. But right now, all we know right now is that Texas and Oklahoma will not be a part of the Big 12 heading forward once those couple of years are up. Now, what does that mean for the other 8 schools, right? Obviously, 8 other schools in the Big 12 right now, including 3 in-state schools, Baylor, TCU, and Texas Tech. They're put in a little bit of a difficult position. Now, over at TexasFootball.com, I made the pitch for why they should be aggressive and try to expand, maybe add 4 schools, primarily from the American Athletic Conference, and try to maintain being that 5th conference, being ahead above the group of 5 conferences, and continuing to be an autonomous conference. But certainly, I think that all of these schools are going to look at their options. We've already heard that really the 3 Texas schools especially are looking heavily at the Pac-12 and seeing whether the Pac-12 would have interest. The ACC certainly could be a factor for some of them. The Big Ten could come down and look at some of the more northern schools in the Big 12, but at the same time, I mean, this conference was formed in a lot of ways because these schools did not have other landing spots, right? West Virginia tried to get into the ACC back in 2012 and was unable to do so. Same deal, right? The Pac-12 originally was looking at adding Texas, Oklahoma, and Texas Tech. Well, once Texas and Oklahoma pulled out, the Pac-12 didn't really want Texas Tech that same way. So the dynamics are very different, both from sorry about all the notifications. Guess what? It's been a busy day. It's obviously a different media landscape. It's a different overall landscape in 2021. I think that schools are positioned a little differently. So we're going to have to wait and see what ends up happening, what conferences have interest. Now, again, this is a couple year down the road thing, right? Like, even in the most expedient timeline, this is probably going to be a year or 2 before this actually officially happens. I mean, this is not unusual for schools to have committed to play in other conferences before they leave the other conference, right? I think that's always an awkward situation, but it's a real situation, right? And so, look, I think that it's certainly going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. Again, we could hear as early as this week about whether the SEC is going to offer membership, create that 16-team super conference. We don't know at this point how this conference would be set up. We don't know if it would be divisional. We don't know if it would be pod scheduling. That's all stuff that's going to be figured out in the next couple of weeks. Now, we do know Texas A&M, their board of directors or board of regents rather, has scheduled a meeting at 5 p.m. today to kind of talk about their options related to the SEC. This would obviously be a difficult situation for Texas A&M, who has kind of made their reputation as being the school in Texas where you can go play in the SEC, right? And so Texas coming into the league, Oklahoma coming into the league, really puts a little bit of a damper on their pitch. Now, Texas A&M's going to be fine. They've got one of the best coaches in college football in Jimbo Fisher. They've got success to sell, and they have a national title caliber team this upcoming year, and certainly making a playoff or something like that would be a huge part in helping to still set yourself apart. But certainly there's going to be some opposition on the Texas A&M side, so that'll have to be resolved before anything kind of goes forward. Now, the SEC, you only need 75% of schools to vote in favor of adding a new member institution, and but at the same time, it sounds like at this moment it would be likely a 13-1 vote according to multiple sources, and so this is likely going to happen if they move forward with this, obviously making the SEC a really dominant conference, one that the other conferences in college football really can't keep up with in any way. So certainly this is as groundbreaking a news as there has been in at least a decade, probably more, when it comes to realignment. And listen, I grew up watching the Big 12 primarily, living in the state of Texas, growing up in Dallas, Texas, and certainly this is going to be a weird situation, kind of having these historic rivals in Texas and Texas Tech and TCU and Baylor kind of not really be part of the same thing again. And certainly from my perspective, I hope that long-term those other three schools find a way to stick together and find a soft landing spot, because I think it's good for the game. But at the same time, we will get Texas and Texas A&M back in the same conference. Hopefully we'll get a chance to play the game. Texas and Oklahoma will be tied together. And it will be interesting to see. I mean, Texas, all of a sudden, you're going to be hosting home games like Georgia and Alabama and, schools like that. And I think that's probably going to be good for the brand, and it will be good for college football, I think, long term. So a lot to get into. Again, this is me coming online just minutes after all of this is broken, after I've put up my story. A lot still left to happen. Listen, I'll say, this is 9:53 a.m., okay? More is going to happen in the coming weeks and months and even hours and minutes, right? So thank you so much to everybody for joining us. You can find plenty of coverage over at TexasFootball.com. Follow me on Twitter at Shehan Jeyarajah. Follow our college account at DCTFCFB. We should have an emergency Republic of Football coming. We'll talk about it, I'm sure, today on Texas Football Today over at TexasFootball.com. So make sure and check it all out, and we'll talk to you guys again real soon.